let's go ahead into our exercise files and this time focusing on folder EP16-2. Okay, and you got these images over here. And I named the images according to the tools that we're going to be working on. So first is the burn tool. Okay, it's got a lady over there, and then we've got the dodge tool. There's a picture of a home, picture of a tortoise, and a picture of some, I guess those are tomatoes. And then we got a picture of a rather dirty house, I suppose. Okay, so, or whatever it may be. I'd like you to go ahead and select them all, right click, bring them all into Photoshop. So go ahead and do that. Alright, so we'll do that 1, 2, 3, little at a time. So we may have to resize some of these images, but that's okay. That's easy by now. Alrighty, so the first thing is, let's look at the toolbar right here. I'll move it right over here. And as you can see, here are the tools that we're beginning working on. So it's right below, there's two icons below the paint bucket tool, or two icons above the type tool. If you click on it, you'll see dodge, burn, sponge. Let's go ahead and start with let's try the burn tool. How about that? Let's do that first. Alrighty, so the reason why I want to have a burn tool is because we have a rather light featured person right here, and we want to give her a suntan. Okay, so why do I want this? Because, well, suntan companies use Photoshop a great deal, trust me, and they want to make sure their product looks good on people. So we have a rather fair-skinned woman over here. The burn tool kind of looks like this, as you can see right there. Alright, this is highlighted over there, and basically, as you can see from the image here, it takes a object and kind of makes it darker. Well, we're going to be working on a face. So, like a lot of the tools here, this is actually a brush tool as well. So when you click on the icon, you have a choice of brushes. Now, me, I kind of like, the soft brush. I have it at size 201 pixels. Or 200, let's just keep it fair, huh? 200 pixels, and it's a soft brush because the hardness feature is at 0. And yeah, that's it. So that's all and I also have it angled, as you can see. I have it angled, and I like it angled because it's more representative of a brush. So now, you got to be careful with the face, okay? Because it's got to look good. Otherwise, the company is going to get mad. The model is certainly going to get mad, and well, we don't want that. So we want to definitely honor the person by doing a good job. And you know what, now that I think about it, let's go ahead and make the brush a little bit bigger. Let's go ahead and go up to, say, 400 or 412 supposedly. So we want to make it bigger. The reason why we do that is so we have a more uniform tanning situation. Alright, so range, midtones, or highlights, or shadows. Well, shadows focus on the dark areas, and there are none with this lady. I mean, there are, but we're not really focused on that. The highlights are the lighter areas, like you can see on her face, a little bit of light over there, so the spotlight was shining. You can see in her eyes, there's a spotlight shining on her. But we're going to work on the midtones, sort of like, not so light, not so dark, but somewhere in between. Alright, now watch this, and also the exposure. Be careful about this one. It's how strong you apply the darkening. And then I like this icon right here. This is basically mimics an airbrush style, which a lot of makeup artists use on a TV set or a film crew. Alright, so anyways, I got it set at 65. You can go ahead and experiment with any kind of value that you want. Alright, here we go. And again, you want to make sure that you don't let go of the mouse when you do this, okay? Because if it does, remember that initial hit is where it gets dark. Because if you press and notice how it almost looks like there's a bruise there, when we don't want that. So you maybe what we should do is kind of lessen the exposure a little bit. Let's go down to 41, 40%, there it is. And now let's go ahead and try it. So let's go ahead and try this. As you can see, we're focusing right here because this is a lot of light here. And we're going to focus on the lips. There we go. and I think that's a little bit better there. Okay, looks more natural. Again, the lighting, I'm not too crazy about the lighting, so now I'm really making her dark because yeah, she stayed out in the sun a lot, didn't she? So now I'm going to work on the neck area. Okay, so there you have it. Okay, and if I want to turn the blonde hair brown, well, I just have to click on the brown hair, the blonde hair, and you'll notice that it's kind of darkening already. All right, don't forget the ear. Okay, so there you have it. All right, a little different than anything else. So if I go to the before, there it is, and after, there it is. So I kind of like the before. It's a little bit better. Go your natural look, okay? But as you can see, it's you know, you do the very best that you can. Fortunately, we have the history tool, and we can always go back to the beginning. Now we're going to go to the opposite, which is the dodge tool. The dodge tool actually makes things a little bit lighter than it really is. So let's revisit that house. And you notice it's kind of dark here, so we want to make it a little bit lighter, okay? Makes it look like it's been cleaned. Well, first thing I would do is, I think this is a little too small, so I'm going to hit the zoom button and kind of make it big. There, now I got a lot to work with. Alright, so now I'm going to take the dodge tool, which by the way is looks like a lollipop there. Okay, so there it is right now. And again, I'm going to use a brush that is to my liking, so I'm going to go ahead and kind of give it an angle. There it is. I want it to be a soft brush. There it is right there. So, well, maybe a little bit smaller. So I guess that's good right there. Okay, so I've got my brush, okay, and for those who want to see, it's at 33 pixels, definitely soft, a little bit at 49-degree angle. Exposure is at 50%, and again, we're focusing on the midtones. So, again, there is no perfect formula for this. You just, whatever you look at and you like it, use it. So now I'm going to lighten it up. As you can see now, see how the darkness kind of disappears? Now I'm doing actually a pretty good job here. So I'm going to go up here, and there you have it. So I'm going to get rid of it. Looks like we got a power washing. Let's go ahead and do the garage. Again, the garage looks much nicer there. And, you know, again, don't be afraid to have to careful not to touch certain areas. It's okay. That's why, you know, we have the history palette. We can undo anything you like. But I'm starting to like what I'm seeing here. You know, real estate people love Photoshop. They use it to make a home look much more appealing. That's why when you buy a house, you got to go there and see for yourself, okay? Alright, so there we have it. Again, don't want to overdo it. And I think I'm overdoing it now. So let me go ahead and lessen the impact. Actually, that's not too bad right there. Let's go ahead and just kind of color this in. There we go. Alright, looks good. And again, what you can also do is if you want to work on a certain section and not the others, like say for instance I want to work on the roof, I can always use the lasso tool or the polygon tool here. Okay, and I can just go ahead and select that area. See that? And there you see the marching ants. So I'm going to go ahead and select the dodge tool again and make this part lighter without having to worry about running into the other parts. Pretty darn good. Alright, so now we'll release the marching ants, and I can do the same thing for the grass, make the grass a little bit lighter. There it is right there. Kind of remove the effects of the shadow. There we go. Alright, let's look at the before. There it is, a little darker, and then after. Okay, so it looks good. And finally, we are going to work with the sponge tool. And this is kind of a house that, well, looks like it's got a lot of, I'm not sure if that's part of the wood or if that's dirt. Whatever the case may be, we can work on it. So the sponge tool right here, if you look at it, we'll go ahead and zoom in. The sponge tool basically changes the color saturation. In other words, it basically makes the color come out more, if you know what I mean. Not necessarily brighten it, but more the pixels take over certain spots. So anyway, best thing for me to do is show you. I'm happy with my sponge. We're going to saturate it, okay, and the flow, again, I'm not sure the impact of the flow. We just want to make sure it's smooth. So the higher the number, the smoother it is and the more impact it has. So I'm going to make the brush a little bit bigger, maybe about 100, 102, there we go, okay. Alright, so now watch what I do, okay. If you'll notice how the color changes, but now the smudge that you see here is disappearing. So it's sort of like I'm actually cleaning this, and it's also lightening up the color here, okay. So it's starting to look a little bit better, cleaner. Okay, again, I'm going to do the best that I can, okay, under the circumstances. It takes a long time for a good Photoshop artist to, make something happen, like removing the smudges. It doesn't happen on a whim. Of course, I don't want to take up too much time, in this video because you're watching and you're practicing probably right now as well. So, just want to show you as best I can. So notice if I click, it kind of lightens the color, even underneath here. Okay, look at that. It's actually highlighting the color around. So we're saturating with that yellow color, and it's looking, I'd say I did a pretty good job. I'm sure you did too. Okay, and of course, if you have any questions, you can always email me. If you want me to demonstrate more, you can send me an email. I can send you a demo of something that can kind of explain better. And then we want to do the windows. Look how better the windows look. Actually, it's reflecting the sky much better. All right, let's move in. Alrighty, well that's the three tools that I wanted to talk about. Once again, it's the dodge, burn, and sponge tool. Hope you enjoyed it. See you later.